Namo Narayana, welcome back. Today we're going to be reading only chapter 14. It's entitled The Aswamedha Sacrifice. If you've noticed, I've been doing 2 chapters per video, which I think is a good length. This one just seemed a little bit longer, and also as I kind of looked forward, it seemed to be a good stopping point for one part of this story. Maybe. We'll see. I don't know. But the chapter title of Aswamedha Sacrifice gives it away what we're about to discover. Before I go into this, though, let me say something that was said in an earlier video. This Aswamedha, or the horse sacrifice, is a legitimate thing. You can find all the details about it in the Vedas. They're all there. I've seen them myself. Everything you need to know to do your own horse sacrifice. That being said, if you would like to explore that, wow, that would be so cool. Would love to hear about that. Please reach out to me and tell me about your wanting to do the sacrifice. But we no longer have to do sacrifices. We're in the Kali Yuga. This has been said by God. We don't need to do it. So if you're doing it, it's purely out of your desire. God's not going to condemn you for it, I do not believe. But it's not necessary. On the other hand, maybe something's happened and yeah, maybe it's time to do them again. I don't know. But please, I will say, don't kill a horse. That is what happens in this. A horse is sacrificed and please don't kill it. I don't want to be responsible for that. I'm not claiming responsibility for that, and it's not a nice thing to do to a horse, even for God. Or in this day and age, we don't have to do this anymore. But let's hear now the Ramayana's telling of King Dasharatha's horse sacrifice. After completion of 1 year, when the sacrificial horse had reached back to the sacrificial hall constructed on the northern side of the Sarayu River, the ceremonies of the sacrifice commenced. The Aswamedha sacrifice of the great king was conducted by the great sage Rishyashringa, who was the best among Brahmins. The chief priests, who were expert in Vedas, carried out the rituals fully according to tradition and according to the law laid down by scriptures. The Brahmanas, having done pravarga according to the Shastras, did upasada as well as other ceremonies as per the rules. Then the overjoyed great ascetics, after morning oblation, started worshipping the celestial beings and performed rituals as per the rules. The sacrificial offering to Indra was offered in the fire daily according to the tradition, and faultless soma plant was pressed for taking out the juice, and later oblations for the midday were performed as per sequence. In the same manner, those eminent Brahmins, in conformity with Shastras, and after seeing by the great king, did the third pressing of soma in the evening. In that sacrifice, omissions did not take place. There were no defects or mistakes, and everything addressed to God, which appeared as safe, was performed. During those days nowhere was there hungry or tired men, no ignorant Brahmin was seen anywhere, and all Brahmins seen were followed by hundreds of disciples. Brahmins, servants, and ascetics, as well as monks, were found taking food. Aged people, sick people, women, and children were also seen to be happily eating. In the sacrificial ground, food and various kinds of clothes were continuously being handed over to those in charge of distributing these. The heaps of food, which were kept ready for distribution, and which looked like mountains, were seen everywhere daily. The great Brahmin arranged for entertainment of men and women who had arrived there from various countries. The king continuously heard the greetings of greatly satisfied Brahmins after they had tasted the well-cooked food. Well-decorated men were seen serving food to the Brahmins, and people wearing ornaments and gems assisted them. In between the ceremonies, the learned Brahmins engaged themselves in discussion of scriptures, and some were very eloquent, and intelligent Brahmins were aiming at victory. In that year, daily some very intelligent Brahmins, persuaded by Vashishta, performed all the duties of the fire sacrifice, as per tradition. In that sacrificial ceremony, there was no one who was not learned in the 6 branches of the Vedas. There were none who were not faithful to the vows that they had taken. There were none who were not learned, and there was nobody among the king's assistants who was not good in debate based on the Vedas. In that sacrifice, when the time came to erect the pillars, 6 pillars made of bilwa wood, equal number of pillars made of kadiri wood, as well as the 6 pillars of parni wood, 1 made of slesha mathaka, 2 made of devadaru, were erected in such a way that there was a distance of 2 outstretched hands maintained. All the posts were made by people with knowledge of Shastra and experts in Yajna, and all the posts were decorated with gold for elegance. 21 pillars, each measuring 21 artni distance, that being the distance between the elbow to the little finger, were well decorated with 21 cloths, each cloth decorating 1 pillar. All the pillars, each having 8 sides, were well carved and decorated by sculptors, had finely chiseled surfaces, and were erected as per tradition. Decorated with cloths, sandal paste, and flowers, all the pillars were strong, possessing extreme brightness, and shine like the 7 sages' star in the sky. The sacrificial fireplace was constructed there as per Shastras by the placing of bricks, by accomplished Brahmins, using the art of measurement by rope. The sacrificial altar, constructed by the intelligent Brahmins, for the king, who was a lion among kings, was like an eagle with golden wings, with 3 ranges, each range having 6 fireplaces. As prompted by tradition, animals, serpents, and birds were kept ready, each intended for a different deity. When the time came to sacrifice the animals, according to the tradition, the chief priest tied up the horse first and the aquatic animal next. Then those 300 animals and the sacred horse from the best stable of the king were bound to the sacrificial posts. After Kaustya served the horse from its 4 directions, and after worshipping it with ghee by the 3 strokes of the scimitar, its head was severed. Then, with a stable mind and with great devotion to the duty, Kaustya spent 1 night near the house. After Kaustya served the horse from its 4 directions, and after worshipping it with ghee by the 3 strokes of the scimitar, its head was severed. Then, with a stable mind and with great devotion to her duty, Kaustya spent 1 night near the house. Women known as Hota, Advaryu, Udgatha, the chief queen Mahishi, the overlooked wife Parivrutya, Parvruthi, Vavata, the lady attender Aparam, and the other woman, Palakali, touched with their hand the sacrificial horse. The official priest, blessed with restrained senses and also being very knowledgeable, having removed the marrow of the horse, cooked it according to scriptures. At the proper time the king, as laid out by the scriptures, got rid of all his sins by inhaling the scent of the burnt marrow. All those 16 officiating priests, who were Brahmins, offered those limbs, as per rule, to the fire. Unlike other fire sacrifices where oblations are offered using branches of the palasa tree, in this case cane creeper was chosen to offer 1 oblation. According to Skalpa Sutra, Aswamedha sacrifice is completed in 3 days, and on the first day Chatushta Home is carried out. Ukthaya is performed on the 2nd day, and on the 3rd Thirathram is performed. As per Shastra, many other sacrifices were performed along with this. Jyotish Homa and Ayur Yagya were performed along with Athirathram and Abhijit. Vishwajit and Asur were also performed in the prescribed manner. With a view to promote his clan, the king gave away eastern region to Hotra, western side to Aihivaryu, southern side to Brahmana, and northern side to Udagatha, as prescribed and fixed long ago by Lord Brahman in case of a mighty horse sacrifice. The king, the leader of men, and one who increased the fame of his clan, after concluding the sacrifice according to the law and the scriptures, offered the entire earth as a gift to the priests. But the priest told the king, who had been purged of all sins, that he alone deserves to be the protector of the earth. O ruler of the earth, we are incapable of ruling the earth and have nothing to do with ruling it, and we are indeed dedicated to the study of the Vedas. So you may kindly offer some other gift instead to us. O great man, give us gold or gems or cows or whatever is readily available, as we do not have any use with the earth. The great king, having been addressed by those scholars of Vedas like this, gave them 100,000 cows, 100 cores of gold coins, and 4 times that much of silver coins. Thereafter those priests collectively offered all that they got to the great Risha Sringa and the sage Vashista. Then those great Brahmins, who were highly pleased, distributed the wealth given to them equally. After that, with great earnestness, the king offered 1 crore of gold coins to the Brahmins who had come to see the fire sacrifice. When one Brahmin asked for alms, the king gave him his excellent bracelet. Then that mighty king, who was affectionate towards Brahmins, who were highly pleased with him, bowed before them with eyes full of joy. Thereafter the charitable and valorous king prostrated before them, and the Brahmins uttered the words of blessings to him. They told that the sacrifice destroys sins, takes the performer to heaven, and no other king, except Dashastra, can perform it. The king was highly pleased for having performed that great sacrifice. Thereafter the king addressed the sage Rishya Sangha and told him, "O strict follower of vows, how can I ensure the continuity of my clan?" Rishya Sringha said, "Let it happen." And he further said, "O king, your race will continue with the birth of 4 sons." Thus ends chapter 14. There's 2 very cool things that I read in this. One is that the Brahmins were given all this gold and stuff, but what did they do with it? They then distributed it out. That was really cool. Also, that the sacrifice itself, did you notice, and I emphasize the word, was done by a woman. It's done by Kausalya. She did the actual thing. It doesn't explain here, maybe I read it already, I've forgotten why she is chosen to do it, but it's really interesting that a woman does the act of sacrifice. This horse sacrifice also has, like, what did it say, 300 people involved in it or something. So if you want to do it, as I said at the beginning of the video, yeah, it might be a little complicated. Actually, I don't even know if you could do this today. The way this is described, though, there is nothing in the world that even remotely exists on the level of such a sacrifice. I can't think of anything we do in this society that is even close to this. You know, gatherings or whatever, or festivals, not even close to this. Maybe I run marathons. Maybe that might be kind of like it. I mean, you get thousands of people in a marathon and all the people involved. Yet, the medals that we get, I know for a fact they order from China or other places, Hong Kong or whatever. So it's not like someone is sitting there making them. Sometimes they do. I have a wooden medal from the Millinocket, Maine marathon that someone actually made. But when you have 6,000 people in a race, they're not doing that. So that isn't quite the same, because if it was this, you'd have someone making 6,000 medals. We don't have anything like this horse sacrifice. This is above and beyond all of us. And it's an amazing thing. Here you have a woman doing the sacrifice. Here you have people being fed. You have everyone taken care of. It's just an unbelievable thing. Yeah, I don't know, though, if this ever actually happened. You can believe this book as actual authoritative history or not. That's beside the point. If you don't, then did this horse sacrifice ever actually occur? Yes, it is written about in the Vedas. That's a fact. But did anyone ever actually do it? That would be interesting to know. I honestly have no idea. I've never even thought this question until now. Thoughts, comments, anything you want down below. And thanks for watching. That was a very interesting chapter. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.